government is planning to make it big in the tourism sector come 2023. After the proposed plan of Visit Nepal year 2020 was dashed amid the coronavirus pandemic, the government is planning for Visit Nepal tourism decade beginning next year till 2033. Given that coronavirus remains under control or subsided, the government plans could prove a milestone in boosting tourism in Nepal, triggering a revival of the national economy. Good morning, I'm Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. The left leaders in the ruling coalition say the Socialist Centre Front will be the priority for the upcoming elections, overlook CPN-UML, Nepali Congress' second priority. The government gears up to announce Visit Nepal decade from 2023 till 2033. Tourism Ministry releases a 73-point work plan to revive tourism in Nepal post-Corona Mahim. 17 people killed after a boat carrying Haitian refugees capsized near Bahamas. Haitian migrants were trying to reach the US fleeing gang violence and poverty. And Italian Lorenzo Musetti clinches career's first ATP Tour title with a stunning 3-set victory over high-flying Spanish Carlos Alcaraz. The left leaders in the ruling coalition have said that the Socialist Centre Front would be the priority for the upcoming provincial and parliamentary elections. Speaking to Kantipur television, leaders of CPN Maoist Centre and Unified Socialists said that efforts were underway to contest the election through the Socialist Centre with a single election symbol. Stating that KP Sharma Oli's CPN-UML would not be a part of this front, the leaders added that they would field their common candidate from all the electoral constituencies. Taking their call on Nepali Congress, the leaders said the largest party in the ruling coalition was in their second priority. Meanwhile, Nepali Congress has said that any decision regarding poll partnership would be discussed in the ruling coalition. It is a common understanding now that the differences among the ruling coalition leaders have prevented the government from announcing the election dates. CPN Maoist Centre, due to countless splits, has been constricted in size in the parliament, while its party chief Pushpa Kamal Dahal, riding on shrewd political gambits, continues to be at the helm of the government. Spurred on by a positive showing in the recently concluded local level elections, Maoist chairman Dahal is now gearing up for left alliance targeting top executive role upcoming elections. The ongoing political scenario is quite engaging as Maoist Centre chairperson Pushpa Kamal Dahal has busied himself in pre-election strategies to be at the helm of the government after the conclusion of the upcoming elections. The largest party in the parliament, CPN-UML, presently serving opposition roles, meanwhile wants to break the poll partnership of the ruling coalition at any cost. Nepali Congress, in the meantime, is hoping to keep the ruling coalition intact to go for the upcoming provincial and parliamentary elections. In the face of minimal chances of a partnership between the two largest parties, CPN-UML and Nepali Congress, the role of the third party, CPN Maoist Centre, and its chief Pushpa Kamal Dahal has remained decisive in the national politics in recent time. The government is gearing up to announce Visit Nepal decade from 2023 till 2033. Hosting a press conference in Kathmandu yesterday, the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation informed about the government preparations to declare Visit Nepal decade under the government pilot project of reviving tourism in the country. The ministry has also released a 73-point work plan to revive tourism in Nepal post-Corona Mayhem period. Minister for Tourism Jeevan Ram Shrestha informed that preparations are underway to introduce what he said short-term, mid-term and long-term plans in a bid to make Nepal a center of tourist destination. The ministry is running Sagarmatha Sambat program or Mount Everest dialogue in 2 months' time. Chitwan, which is already popular among the Indian and Bangladeshi tourists, will be further promoted. GPS technology will be further enhanced to make the country's trekking and mountain expedition safer, well managed and dependable. The ministry has also stated that more mountains between 5,800 to 8,000 meters will be opened for expeditions. The ministry has also said that in a bid to improve nightlife in the Kathmandu Valley, programs would be initiated in Kathmandu, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur to meet the target within 2 years. The threat of coronavirus has increased once again with 2 deaths recorded yesterday. Infection rate is surging while the virus is suspected to have spread in community level. The symptomatic individuals refraining from conducting tests has further increased the risk of virus transmission. The scenario of PCR tests conducted lately is negligible. Around 2,500 PCR tests are conducted on a daily basis, despite the capacity of conducting up to 30,000 tests. The coronavirus infection rate has been surging in recent time in the country. Around 20% COVID tests have started returning positive. However, health experts opine that the PCR test being conducted lately is minimal. Health experts emphasize that the government should expand coronavirus testing parameters and conduct contact tracing as the virus is suspected to have already spread in community level. Meanwhile, all 3 tiers of government have failed to make necessary preparations in the country's fight against the pandemic. Those infected are compelled to reach the coronavirus testing centers themselves. Currently, there are 109 laboratories in the country, out of which 59 are owned by the state and 50 are private. The government has remained indifferent towards increasing COVID testing despite the availability of the laboratories with the capacity to conduct up to 30,000 PCR tests. This has increased the risk of transmission as the 4th wave of COVID has already begun in the country. The government is bound to identify the infection scenario in the starting phase to prevent similar losses suffered in the previous waves of coronavirus. The government should take initiatives to identify infected individuals, while the general public should also be self-aware regarding the need to identify and prevent the spread of the virus. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces regarding measures to revive the tourism sector. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
पर्यटकीय स्थलको पहिला पहिचान गरेर त्यो क्षेत्रलाई बजेटिङ गर्ने त्यो सम्मको बाटोघाटो उपलब्ध गराउने
प्रचार प्रसार क्याम्पेनहरु हुनु पर्यो स्थानीय सरकारले क्षेत्रीय सरकारले प्रादेशिक सरकारले
मेयरहरुले वडा अध्यक्षहरुले सबैले गरेर नयाँ नयाँ प्याकेज चाहिँ यो पर्यटक क्षेत्रलाई ल्याउनु पर्छ
बैंकहरुको पनि सपोर्ट चाहिन्छ
होटल व्यवसाय गर्नेहरुले चाहिँ उहाँहरुले पनि आफूले अलि नयाँ नयाँ प्याकेजहरु लिएर आउने
Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What's your take on escalating dispute in the All Nepal Football Association within a month after the election of the new leadership? Your options are A, clash of personal interest, B, dispute in portfolio distribution, and C, irresponsible leadership. Voting is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. The left leaders in the ruling coalition say the Socialist Centre Front will be the priority for the upcoming elections. Overlooked CPN-UML, Nepali Congress' second priority. The government gears up to announce Visit Nepal decade from 2023 till 2033. Tourism Ministry releases a 73-point work plan to revive tourism in Nepal post-Corona Mahim. 17 people killed after a boat carrying Haitian refugees capsized near Bahamas. Haitian migrants were trying to reach the US fleeing gang violence and poverty. And Italian Lorenzo Musetti clinches career's first ATP Tour title with a stunning 3-set victory over high-flying Spanish Carlos Alcaraz. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good day.